Hey guys, this is my second time coming live tonight, and this is especially just for you because I have been promising tons of content and pandemics seem to keep happening and things keep just going crazy, but does not stop me from keeping my promises. So I'm going to do a quick section today on getting the IELTS Band 9 as I promised, and I know a lot of you are very keen on it, even more than the GRE or the application process. So I will take this quick section first. Like I said, I did the exam, I got a band 9. I will just be kind of sharing tips, tricks with you and the basic structure of the exam. I'm recording this as an Insta Live because a lot of you like to ask questions while I'm talking, which I'm happy to answer as we go along. If not, I will be posting this across my this handle as well as my other social handles, including YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and yeah, obviously Instagram. So whichever you feel more comfortable using, feel free to come back with more questions on that. So for people wanting to just randomly chat, now is not the time because I'm going to be specifically dealing with IELTS exam content. So yes, for those of you who are going to say, ma'am, what is IELTS? It is the International English Language Testing Services exam. It is usually the preferred exam by most, by most schools and jobs and immigration services, etc. Across the world. So it is scored on several different bands, so you can get anything between a band 1 and a band 9, band 1 being the worst, band 9 being the best. And you can score in increments of 0.5. So essentially most, from what I've seen and in my experience, good English students get between 8 and 8.5. And I've seen people get obviously 6s and 5s and then 3s and 2s. But I think for most universities, as well as other purposes, they would like you to cross a band 7 across all 4 sections. So there are 4 sections in the exam, which is listening, speaking, writing, and reading. So all these are the 4 important sections. Each section is scored on a band 9. So eventually how you do in all of these individual sections will determine your overall band. Thank you, Rijas, for the request, but I can't take it right now unless it's a question related to the test. So for all those of you who are interested, please stay on the live. Please send questions if you're taking the test, obviously, or if you just want to know what it's about. So we'll first kind of take up the reading section. I tend to be partial to the reading and the listening sections because they're a little more predictable than the writing or speaking. The reason I say that is because the reading section there's only a right or wrong answer. It's a question of whether you understood it or you didn't, not a question of what your version of the truth is. So I think reading is a great section to start your preparation with. So it situates you in sort of your understanding of the English language. So basically you're going to get a few different kinds of questions. You're going to get fill in the blanks. You're going to get yes, no, not given. And then you're going to have to pull data out of the sections that you've read and fill in the right answers with that. So that's kind of how it's going to go. So I would urge you to focus on the sections which are fill in the blanks and start practicing those because you're basically going to get a paragraph, you're going to read it, you're going to understand it, and you're going to answer the question. So unless your English is really weak and you have trouble understanding what you're reading, I don't see a huge big problem. So you are going to basically I'll again quickly review the different kinds of questions. Your questions 1 to 6 will be you'll have to find the paragraph that matches the question, and this will come in a slightly jumbled format. So yeah, basically you just need to find the paragraph, and that would be the paragraph where the answer is in. So if that didn't make sense to anyone, please put it in the comment box. Yes, no. Okay, so let's try this again. So again, I'm just going to say the reading section is basically the place where you should start preparing for your IELTS. It is the easiest section to master. It is the baseline of whether you can understand what you read. One kind of question is to find the paragraph which contains the answer of the question being asked. Another kind of important question is yes, no, not given. So yes, no, not given is the harder kind of question. Basically, yes, basically if they say, okay, is this statement correct? You would have to have read the paragraph, and to say that has the paragraph given you the information that the question is seeking? Has it not? Has it contradicted the statement being made? Or are you unclear that it hasn't actually answered the question? So that is the difference between yes, no, not given. So these are the major two types of questions. The second type, which is yes, no, not given, is actually in sequence. So the first one, where you have to find the paragraph that has the right answer, is not in sequence. It's jumbled, so it's meant to confuse you a little bit. So you might have to go through the entire set of content to actually answer the question. Whereas with yes, no, not given, the questions will address the paragraphs in sequence. So that is the reading section for you. I hope this has made sense. If anybody would like to know more, you're always welcome to send me your questions. I will deal with listening, writing, and speaking separately. But my sense is that you guys would prefer to have your questions answered than just have me, give you my version of what's actually in the test, because what I just told you, you can still find in a textbook. Not difficult at all. The textbooks that I used the IELTS Cambridge textbook, as well as the one given to me by the Jamboree Testing Center, which was fairly okay. I preferred the Cambridge version because it didn't have any errors in it. The Jamboree textbook had a lot of errors, so I was finding errors in the content, so which doesn't say a lot. So for you guys out there, if you're going to a testing center, I would still get the Cambridge version to make sure you have a good global standard set. I mean, you can use your coaching center content as well, but I would recommend the IELTS Cambridge version. So I scored a band 9 on my reading, but I did not, the only section I found a little challenging, which I worked on separately, was the yes, no, not given. So we could get into questions on yes, no, not given section separately if you would like. You guys can come back to me on that if you would like me to specifically answer. Okay, so that is the reading section for you. I will be back with more content when I'm ready. Okay? All right. Bye.